Okay. Welcome back, you guys. Welcome back to me. Welcome back to you. And this video is going to be about some things that I've learned recently through life experience. And my DJI Osmo, it's not really, it's charging super slow, but I think we're going to be good. Let's get into it, man. Life is hard. Why? I don't know. If it's just the human condition or if it's just a tough proposition to navigate one's life in New Babylon on flat earth, trying to do your best, be a good person and enjoy life as much as you can. It's tough. I think we need to remind ourselves of that, especially those of us who are harder on ourselves than other people. So it's been like 5 or 6 weeks since I made a video. I'm glad I squeezed out that last one. And this is the longest time it's been since about 1.5 years when I didn't make videos for like 3 months. So I'm glad to be back at it. I'm going to keep it super simple. I have been obsessively and compulsively shopping online for underwear, t-shirts, and socks. And I have some good information for you guys out there, and girls too, I think. A couple of the companies that I've found make items for women as well. So I was thinking about making a whole video on this topic because of how hard I have found it in my life to find quality t-shirts. And then when you find them and they're great, then you go back to buy another bag or pack of them and they're totally different. They're made in a different country. They're awful. They're too short. They're too long. They're too crappy. So, yeah, I just started buying t-shirts from all over the place and underwear. And I paid everywhere from like $65 for a t-shirt down to $15. And actually, what I'm wearing right now is my favorite by far, hands down, bar none. It's from a company called, and I'm going to go ahead and say this because I think you should just go on and give me your email and be ready for their next shipment of apparel, because this t-shirt here is amazing. It's made out of bamboo. It hangs just right. It like grabs my shoulders just right. This thing wants to focus on my head, so it's not really, it sits, it's not too baggy, it's not too loose under the armpits. It's got just the right length. It's super soft. Incredible. I wish all my t-shirts were like this. So I have found a few things, and this t-shirt is from a company called Essentials, ESNTLS, and they basically, it's a guy who is a YouTuber, and he started his own clothing line, and it's extremely it's extremely popular, and they sell out in like a day. By the time I got to their website, when they announced that they had a new like line of clothing, they come out in batches. By the time I got there, less than a day, all the white tees had been sold out. This is a black tee. I think they might have more of those still. I would just say buy one so it can change your whole life. T-shirt world-wise. I also searched for underwear. Everyone from Tanny to Mack Weldon to MeUndies, and MeUndies is my new favorite. They're they're $24 if you're not a member, but they're 15 or 16 if you are a member, and they're amazing. Oh my gosh, they're boxer briefs. I'm a boxer brief guy, but they got all kinds there. And yeah, I've just, when you have, and this will lead in to what I wanted to talk about next, which was panic attacks and slash PTSD slash TMS slash anxiety. I mean, I've been diagnosed with all that shit, slash clinical depression. When you have that stuff, I mean, for me, I found that, like, I go after stuff compulsively sometimes. It's an obsession and a compulsion. That's part of the symptoms, really, getting obsessed with stuff. So just trying to do damage control on that. Me and my wife aren't rich. Can't be buying all kinds of crazy stuff. Luckily, I've gotten really good with dealing with customer service, so I send a lot of stuff back. If I don't love it, I try not to keep anything if I don't like it, because I am somewhat of a minimalist. And by the way, we are in the last category of Marie Kondo's life-changing magic of tidying up. And that is a powerful program it's a powerful tool and a technique to discard the extra items that don't bring you joy in your life, and to organize and finally be done with the constant struggle to try to keep everything in its own place and organized and tidy and looking good and feeling good. Super hard. I mean, really hard, really. And we only live in a trailer. I imagine if you had a 2 or 3 or 4 bedroom house, like, it would be even harder. But we've been paring down for years, so more on that later as we continue to progress. We're almost done with the last category as far as discarding, and then we're going to go to organizing all of the different categories. So yeah, I'm excited about that. That's clearing stuff up. It's clearing space up. It's really, really good. But yeah, back to PTSD, anxiety. By the way, anxiety, depression, if you are listening to this and you're like confused, one of the symptoms of anxiety and panic attacks is bewilderment. Once someone gets sensitized through whatever, you could just go in for surgery and come out with anxiety and panic. And if you don't treat that properly, you can get stuck in an anxiety loop because you're basically sensitized to it, and you become afraid of the fear, you become afraid of the anxiety. All this stuff is like, it's just, it's honestly just all flooding in. I'm just realizing over the last 2 days that I had my first panic attack, major one, where I felt like I was dying, and my friends thought I was having a heart attack, and really, really bad. That was back in 2000. So I've had this for like 19 years, and I'm just starting to get more and more clarity about this. I got diagnosed with mind-body syndrome from a medical doctor. This is real. There's like 25, 30 doctors in the world who will diagnose, who are like knowledgeable enough to be able to diagnose someone with mind-body syndrome. Basically, dude, if you have anxiety, if you've got depression, if you got skin stuff, if your back hurts, if you got pain in your elbows and your wrists and your neck, and you've got carpal tunnel, and you've got allergies, and doctors can't find anything wrong with you, and you keep doing tests, and it's been years, and you keep searching, and every little thing, new technique or modality or way to get better just leaves you in despair because none of it works, you have mind-body syndrome. I'm telling you right now. So yeah, dude, call me on my bullshit, whatever, but look into it. Dr. John Sarno is who coined the term 30 years ago. I see his protege, Dr. Schechter, in Hollywood, Culver City, LA area, and so yeah, I've got this, and with using it's knowledge therapy what this stuff is. So I've got all these symptoms, right, over a long time. Started to get really bad around 1999. 2001 is when it really shit hit the fan, and I haven't, honestly, panic attack, and then I've been scared shitless ever since. So imagine being scared shitless for like 19 years straight. And then you got all these other symptoms, and then you got health scares and health fears, and it just compounds, right? So, yeah, to simplify, because I could talk about this stuff forever, if you got all this chronic pain stuff, and dude, fibromyalgia, all these back issues, where have the ulcers gone? Guess what? It's not the 70s anymore. Ulcers aren't popular, dude. Ulcers aren't popular anymore. How the mind works is that, like, it chooses stuff that's popular. So the ulcers are gone now. Now it's about carpal tunnel. Dude, why were ladies, typing on big metal typewriters back in the 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s? None of them had carpal tunnel. It wasn't a thing. It's not a thing. Dude, my keys on my keyboard are magnetic. Dell XPS 15, awesome computer, by the way. Still love it. They're magnetic, dude. It's not like big heavy typewriter shit. Carpal tunnel's not real. I mean, dude, if you have that, I'm not saying that your pain is in your head, but I'm saying right now what you actually really have is mind-body syndrome. So I get diagnosed 5 years ago, and I'm one of those real slow healers from this stuff. But listening to Dr. Sono's book, a month later, all of my back pain was gone. I had my I got chiropractors in the family, right? I've got chiropractors telling me I've screwed up my neck forever. I'm done. I'm like, I'm just going to have to live with this. Not true. It's not true. It's just not true. So, yeah, I get diagnosed with mind-body syndrome. I'm like, you sure that's what all this stuff is? And the doctor asked me about my childhood and my parents, and I told him a little bit, and he was like, absolutely, dude. By the way, you're going to need a little bit of therapy to get better. You're one of the there's like 15% of us who actually have to get some type of therapy to get better. So, yeah, I got better within 1 month. No more pillows underneath my knees. No more $400 worth of supplements. No more like crazy, weird, restricting myself from going here and going there and taking long car trips and all the rest of it. If you have back pain, if you've ever had back pain, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So that goes in a month, but dude, my anxiety and depression has like lingered on like crazy. And when I got down here 9 months ago, it just blew up. It just exploded. So all that, I mean, I guess it wasn't out of nowhere, but it felt like that. We moved out of South Lake Tahoe and down to the Central Coast, bought this Airstream, we bought a new truck, we've got $1,000. We're like back in debt, even though it's good stuff. And the what is the word? Yeah, transition into living in an RV and moving, and a bunch of other stuff just pushed me over the edge, and I started having full-blown panic attacks. And I'm not saying like, dude, so many people are like, oh, I have anxiety too, why are you complaining? Oh, I have, everybody has anxiety. Have you ever like basically driven past a place where you've been before and just had that memory push you over the edge to the point where you're rocking back and forth, crying and weeping and snot running down your nose and feeling like you're having a psychotic break and feeling like you're gonna die, and that your person, like your ego, is basically dissolving? We're talking about full-blown panic attacks here. The full-blown stuff. We're not talking about just being nervous or afraid. I've got it really bad, and I've had them for 19 years, like I was saying. I had one once where everyone thought I was having a heart attack. I just curled up into a ball on the couch. We were partying in this hotel, me and a bunch of buddies, and I'm like fetal position on this couch, shaking. I didn't die, but I thought I was going to. So yeah, that brings me to this. I found this book called Dare. What is the book called? Barry Mcdounough. Barry, Barry Mcdounough. The book is called Dare. Something about ending panic attacks. Sorry, I'm not well prepared for this video, but anyways, dude, I've been using that book for like 4 days and 5, I think maybe 5, 6 days by now. And today was the second time I went to go work out, and basically, you know, I had anxiety attack. I mean, it wasn't a full-blown panic attack where I'm like, oh my God, like, you know, crying. But it came, and the way that he says to deal with it is to, when the scary thoughts come, just diffuse them. Say, oh, well, whatever, I don't care, heard it all before, yada, yada, yada. And then you accept it. You just basically kind of accept the feeling. And then if it doesn't go away from doing that, then you basically run towards it, and you kind of egg on. You like egg it on. You're like, okay, well, I guess you're not going away. Let's do this. Bring it. And you know, if you're in the gym, you probably want to do that silently, unless you don't give a shit. But yeah, that's part of the whole deal is getting to a place where you give zero fucks about being anxious. And that's super powerful, and I think that's one of the reasons why I haven't healed from the rest of my mind-body syndrome stuff, because the anxiety is constantly making me want to check in with, oh, I've got a pain in my jaw, oh, TMJ, blah, 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 blah. What if I don't sleep tonight? It's the fear of the fear, and mind-body syndrome, and all that chronic pain stuff is an epidemic of fear. So yeah, we've got that down now. We're on the same page with that. And if you have chronic pain, I know you haven't turned this off yet. I know you haven't, because you're listening to me and you hear me. And you know, dude, you know, you're not even bored right now. If you have chronic pain, listening to me right now, I know you're not bored. So yeah, if you struggle with that, if the doctors can't find anything wrong, that's what you have. You've got mind-body syndrome. And anxiety and depression are that as well. I have just struggled using the regular techniques, the Sarno techniques, to deal with the anxiety and the depression, fear of anxiety, fear of depression. So yeah, this book is how I came. This is good. How I came across it also was, I was on the TMS wiki. It's a forum for mind-body syndrome and TMS. And no, that's not true at all, actually. I was listening to a podcast about chronic pain and TMS and mind-body syndrome called Mind-Body Mastery. Okay, so I'm listening to this, and then the person who did the podcast was interviewing someone who had gotten basically all the way better from really severe chronic pain. And the person was talking about, like, she asked him, well, did you get the anxiety when you started to get better? Did you get the anxiety? He was like, oh my goodness, yes. Like general floating, all types of it, every single sort. And he says, yeah, Dr. Claire Weeks helped him with that. So I downloaded, this is just as good, just older. It's from the 50s. Her last book was republished in 66. Dr. Claire Weeks. If you have anxiety and depression, check her out too, because it's the same type of idea. It's the same. It's not a whole bunch of complex, technical, difficult processes for getting better from this stuff. It's just basically walking into it and acceptance of it. So I'm looking up Dr. Claire Weeks, and I bought like 3 of her books on Audible, and I'm like devouring them because I'm in this place where I'm attracting new information again. And as I was doing that, I found Barry Mcdounoug's book, Dare. And I read the reviews, and I was like, oh my gosh, these reviews are just like Dr. Sarno's books. Oh, I started practicing this 2 days later. I feel so much better. Oh my God, it's amazing. This will change your life. Please buy this book. Please buy this book. So I bought the book and I listened to it, and I've been practicing it for 6 days. And you know what? It hasn't been, dude, my anxiety's still here. It hasn't been like, oh my God, I can hear the birds outside and I just feel so much bliss. And that's what I'm always like looking for, right? Is the silver bullet. That doesn't exist. It just doesn't exist for this kind of stuff. But what I have felt is a shift. And for me to have this kind of stuff shift is huge. Twice now over the last week, went to the gym, worked out hard, and didn't have that kind of anxiety where like, oh my God, I can't take a breath right now. Holy shit, I'm just gonna have to get through this moment, I guess. I'm just gonna like, and it didn't show up like that. It didn't show up like that, man. It's a 4-step. It's called the dare response, and it's a 4-step thing. So you diffuse the thoughts as they come, and you accept the feelings and emotions as they arrive, and then you reframe it. You know, when one of those really scary ones go, well, what if you get so bad you have to call the ambulance? Well, who gives a shit? I won't have to go to work. You just kind of say whatever to it. And then if it doesn't go away, you're like, okay, bring it then. And it's pretty powerful. It's always the simplest stuff that's the most powerful. So, you know, for some reason we trust expensive and difficult, but that's not really how things work, is it? Like, you know, the most powerful stuff is simple. That's a long way of saying that if you have anxiety and panic attacks and stuff like that, by the way, 1 in 6 people do, then check this book out, because it very well may change your life. It's going to matter, really, it all depends on your level of willingness to experience this stuff, but it can help you. It can help you. I'm telling you, like, if it can work for me, if it's already causing a shift in me, dude, it's gonna work. Like, it works. So yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna title this video, or like, you know, there's no real great focus here. I just wanted to get back into the routine of making videos. I hope something I've said has helped someone who may be listening, and I'm gonna do my best to go back to turning out videos once a week. I'm not going to edit this. I'm just going to upload it to YouTube, and yeah, I hope it helps someone. And because that's really what it's all about. Honestly, dude, if I can get to a place where all of this, you know, where I'm more clear on the fact that all of this hasn't been for nothing, and I haven't just like spent the last 20 years of my life in the upside down, in the deep dark, you know, in the deep darkness, then that's good. It's good. And that's really all I've ever wanted, is just to know that I'm getting better, which more and more I'm sure of. So yeah, that's about it. Still not a bowl of cherries, but there's lots of really, really good stuff happening, and I will include more of that in my next video. I hope you guys have a really good day. Touch into the moment. Know that you don't need hope to continue going. You know, just do the work, just be willingness, just do what you know you need to do to continue to get better, and you will. All right. Thank you so very much. If you like the video, please subscribe and like the video. And if you don't, that's cool too. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you.